Hi, I'm Sarah Gonzalez. Welcome to the news and why it matters. Glenn, what was the top story?
Top story today, I think the revolving door at the White House, how the media has handled it and how they have left out all the good things that have come about.
Okay.
Stop being positive. The tariffs are really bad and they suck, and I've got an interesting source that will explain it.
Oh, okay. Pat.
I'm still stewing over the agonizing walkout.
Okay.
Agonizing.
But you're not holding on to it.
No.
They changed so much, though.
Yeah, school walkout and the STOP Act of 2018. Not to be confused with the other STOP Acts.
STOP Act.
There's been a lot of them.
Okay. All right. So, Glenn.
I just did this out on the chalkboard about a half an hour ago, and I actually saw one of the news reports today say bloodbath at the White House. And quite honestly, I wouldn't mind one occasionally, in the media or the White House, an actual, seeing somebody actually taking a bath in blood. It might be a little disturbing,
maybe,
but could our days and our news get any weirder? I don't think so. What the news reports are saying is how bad it is and how unstable it is and how everybody's leaving. But if you look at all the people that are coming in, it's all really good. The interview with Larry Kudlow, I'll take him.
Yeah, Larry Kudlow's he's a great voice and been a consistent voice for conservatism for a long time. He was, always been pushing tax cuts to go further, cutting spending. He's been a great voice for a really long time on this stuff.
And this is why I don't think anybody has any credibility anymore. Oh my gosh. You're putting Rex Tillerson in? He has no idea what he's doing. He's buddies with Putin. And he ran ExxonMobil. Okay, remember that scandal? Mm-hmm. Now he's gone. You're firing him? Look at his experience. He knows Vladimir Putin. It's crazy.
See, I've always liked Larry Kudlow. I'm just surprised that it would actually take him 30 minutes to fix the economy.
Yeah, I know.
I think most of us can sum it up in about 5-10 minutes or so. Maybe he's allowed himself a little cushion. Learning curve.
If he puts Art Laffer in and they start coming in and you've got Stephen Moore, Art Laffer, and Larry Kudlow, you might have serious progress on the...
And we all know there's some major steps they can take. We've known this. Balance your budget. True tax reform and simplify it. Get rid of those corporate taxes. Things like this.
They're talking about stage 2 of taxes now. The Republicans are, which is great.
Yeah.
So you don't think that it's necessarily... You're not going to ding Trump for... not having maybe a good gut feeling for who to pick in the first place?
No, because I don't think he expected to win. I really don't. And I think he was like, holy crap, what do I do? And he listened and paid favors back, and it just was like, okay, you and you and you and, and Mentoto should be there too, because he was, I think he just panicked and put people in, was over his head for a while in the office, and now I think he's getting to the point where he's like, okay, out.
I think that's true with some of them. There's certainly some really bad appointments, right? And those have been turned around. Gary Cohn isn't a bad appointment.
No.
And it's weird.
If I may be positive about him on this, it is like Rex Tillerson. It is unreasonable to expect Rex Tillerson, who's like, you can't do that with North Korea. Sorry, dude, I've already said it. I'm doing it. Same with Rex Tillerson.
They diverged on that. They diverged on Russia.
And
there were some serious issues there.
And with Cohn, if Cohn was like, look, I'm sorry, Mr. President, you do this. But what did Larry Kudlow say? Larry said he was on the tennis court, gets a phone call. He's expecting to get reamed because he's been saying this is bad economic policy. He talks to Trump for 30 minutes, and he said, let me explain not the policy, let me explain my plan. And Kudlow said in 20 minutes, he was like, I'm in. So what's the plan? I'd like to hear it.
I would like to get to the bottom from real hardcore Trump supporters here for a moment, because now what we're hearing from them is finally he's getting his team. He's getting the people he wants in office. He's finally getting that cabinet together that he's wanted this whole time. So I would like to know, I just want to know, was it that he was wrong at the beginning and named all the wrong people, or did some more beta man than him bully him into picking the wrong people? Because all these picks were perfect 6 months ago, And now that they're all leaving, all the new people are perfect, and he's finally getting what he wants. Well, he got what he wanted the first time.
Yeah, that's why I asked that question.
But I will tell you this. Let's at least be consistent. We can be consistent. His first picks, whether he picked them, and really wanted them, or it was just like, I don't know, it doesn't matter. They sucked. And we said they sucked.
No, that's not all of them.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
But some of them.
Yeah. Some of them were bad.
Sean Spicer.
Right.
Let's see.
I don't think she's,
Mike Flynn, Steve Bannon, Reince Priebus. I mean,
we bashed those by
Mike Flynn?
Yeah. He did make me question it for a second. I was like, well, I don't.
Yes. I mean, it was a mixed bag, I think, with the appointments. Some of them were good, some of them weren't. I think we've seen things like with Tillerson, who is, questionable and really doesn't seem to be in the flow with Trump, that he's improved that standing. I think he's moved the right way on a lot of these, which is good.
See, I don't think he was a bad pick, but a bad fit.
Yeah.
Bad fit for Trump. I don't think he was bad in the job or whatever. No, Tillerson.
Yeah.
So you're right. I mean, I think we should at least acknowledge, though, when these things actually go right for once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to move on to tariffs.
Oh, yes. So we have this. I love this one. This is Tariffs Are Taxes. Listen to some of these quotes. One of the ironies of trade protectionism is that tariffs and import quotas are what we do to ourselves in times of peace and what foreign nations do to us with blockades to keep imports from entering our country in times of war. Tariffs are really tax hikes. These are regressive taxes on low-income families. Going through all the examples of history, Smoot-Hawley in 1929. I know you're a big Smoot-Hawley fan. It gave us the Great Depression, worsened it along the way, right? Richard Nixon's 10% import surcharge contributed to the stagflation of the 70s. George Bush tried to save the steel industry. If those tariffs had worked, we wouldn't have this discussion today. And it goes on and on and on and on. I mean, the Obama tire tariffs. Mm-hmm. The interesting part about this is the author, of course, Larry Kudlow, along with Art Laffer and Stephen Moore, and the date, March 3rd, 2018.
He thinks...
Yeah, but how old were you back then? I can't even remember. Was I in the crib? Was I a glimmer in my dad's eye? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just interesting because, I don't look at that and say, I think a lot of people look at that like, look at this. I mean, this, now this guy who's going to be, pitching tariffs and he was against it 2 weeks ago, he's a hypocrite. I look at that the exact opposite way. Here's a guy who actually knows the issue. Unlike Trump, who I think does not understand it at all, and there's going to be a really strong voice on the right side of this issue in his ear all the time. I think it's a real positive, and I'm excited about it. I mean, I honestly, when Cohn left, I was, assuming. I mean, he was leaving. He left reportedly over the tariffs, and you're assuming he's going to go with somebody who agrees with him on it. The fact that he's not is a really positive thing. And
I think so too.
So what did he say to Kudlow? What did he say to him where he's like, I'm in? Was this hey, guys, I'm just bargaining with this. This isn't really,
I've got a dime bag of Coke.
Is that what it is? I'm in.
Well, they did say that that's one of the things that's been tossed around and reported on. I think also,
What, did he offer him Coke?
Yes, they no.
One of the things. It was reported on from Glenn.
Sorry.
Okay.
But, Kudlow is also, he considered running for Senate in Connecticut. He's a guy who has been wanting to have a high level of influence, has toyed with a political run for a long time. Now he steps right in the middle of it. I mean, this guy's been talking about this stuff for 30 years on television. He knows it better than anybody, and it's kind of it's.
And he is part of the team
optimistic.
that I think, at least for me, and I would imagine you guys too, that if I were president of the United States, he'd be the guy I'd call. Him, Laffer, and Moore.
It will hurt my soul, however, if we have him in front of us blabbing to us about how great tariffs are in 2 weeks. That's going to be really frustrating.
Yeah. That will
I hope
hurt.
that doesn't happen.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think it will.
All right, Pat, the student walkouts. Life-changing, right?
Yes. Oh, definitely. These are the people, these experts, if you will.
Grieving.
Yeah. How dare you for not thinking that they might not be experts? I mean, who didn't want a day out of class, a day out of school? All of them wanted that and would take, I think, any excuse. Are some of them committed to this? Yeah, I think pretty obviously some of them have been pretty indoctrinated and are excited for this opportunity to expound on their incredible wisdom and knowledge to those of us who just don't understand this issue. Because we've got too much life experience, so that makes us non-experts on the issue.
I think we have a clip of one of those.
Yes,
young people giving.
I think this is Matthew Post, who was at the Washington D.C. rally yesterday.
Let's make one last thing clear. Their right to own an assault rifle does not outweigh our right to live. Yes. The adults have failed us. This is in our hands now. And if any elected official gets in our way, we will vote them out and replace them ourselves. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Okay.
Can he even vote?
No. No, he can't.
But when he
But he talks like this, and he's got 5 o'clock shadow, so I believe him. I mean,
but he can replace them themselves because you can serve in Congress when you are
of your own free will when 14. You decide. That's the thing. I mean, he's telling us they're going to vote him out of office. They're 15, 16, 17-year-olds. They're not voting anybody out of office. Why are we allowing them to lead the country around by the nose in this thing?
And if you actually looked on social media to most of the kids who spoke, they were not like this. They are not brilliant.
No,
I mean, they're average kids,
right.
whatever.
Yeah.
They
How dare
I know,
you.
right?
Well, they're kids who 3 weeks ago were ingesting Tide Pods.
Right.
That's not brilliant.
Right.
I saw one of the girls who was talking, one of the walkouts, and she was saying, no person should be able to walk into a store and buy an AR-15 with $130. Mm-hmm. And that's true because the store should close immediately if it's selling AR-15s for $130. That's not a sustainable business model at all.
You know, it's amazing how stupid she is where she gets that wrong. Those were AR-11s.
AR-11s.
The AR-11 was really economically priced.
Yeah. It was like the Yugo or the Lakar of weapons of mass destruction.
Well, and you saw the kids who were giving speeches, and then the other kids who skipped class were out stomping on the flag and jumping on cop cars, and I saw a video of some looting Walmart.
Well,
and what's
worse?
Of
course,
loot Walmart.
if you want people to listen to you, and you are standing for people's rights, you deserve a free TV from Walmart. Okay?
Thank you.
Have you guys seen
finally someone said it?
Similarities in the signs between the Walkout people and the Westboro Baptist Church? Have you seen these?
Yeah, the color.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's just you have to have a tricolored sign when you're protesting. I don't know what that is, but you see them side by side, and it's like they went to the same printer.
I'm guessing
really
it's probably a union rule.
A union rule. It would make sense.
It would.
That must be what it is. All right, we got much more to come. Stay with us. So we were talking about all of these young people giving the speeches.
Yeah, and I have a clip, too, that I want to share of these young people out there expressing, the people that we need to follow, the youth of America speaking their mind. Here we go.
You, the young people of this country, are leading the nation, and the Congress has got to follow what you are doing. All across this country, people are sick and tired of gun violence, and the time is now.
They're sick of gun violence. We're fine with every other type of violence, but he was out there, Nancy, the usual suspects, out there just spontaneously. You know, the stage just spontaneously appeared when these kids walked down the sound system.
Those are so easy to bring stages.
They are,
onto
just right on the Capitol, whatever.
Steps. It's easy. No permitting necessary, nothing.
Now, the House did pass the STOP Act of 2018.
Which is?
It has to do with the guns on schools and whatever. It stands for Students, Teachers, and Officers Preventing. Stop. Students, officers, and teachers and officers preventing school violence, but they don't call it the STOP Act. It's the STOP Act. And don't confuse it with the STOP Act of 2017, which had to do with opioids, or the STOP Act of 2015, which had to do with congressional finance, and there was the STOP Act of 2013 that had to do with sexual assault. None of those STOP Acts. This is a new STOP Act for a new era.
You know what's weird?
What's that?
Is those last STOP Acts didn't stop anything.
No, they didn't stop anything. They
stop a damn thing.
They've done whatever.
But this time it's different.
Here's the thing about the STOP Act. It's like $50 million that goes to the states. Federal government putting up $50 million to the states to help to train people locally, students, teachers, and officers, on how to identify gun violence.
There's a hole in something.
That's right. And I was like, seriously, you need to identify? No one knows? So what does that mean, identify? Are you talking ahead of time? And what does that mean? No, I mean like it's just a gun. Mm-hmm. Is that an indicator that there's going to be gun violence?
Right, or yeah, it could be.
I mean, see what I'm saying?
They're looking for the patterns, the type of, like
behaviors
a profiling.
Of
and they also are going to...
shockingly, guns aren't the ones killing.
Yeah. They're also going to set up a phone line so kids can report if they think someone's going to be violent with a gun.
Oh, that's good.
Because we know those kids, they love their phones. They love to call people with their phones.
Right.
And we know there's been no metric to report this ever in the past.
No.
Right. Well, no, there was some people reporting. They're going to make it easier to report. Not easier for the FBI to just call the sheriff's department.
Yeah, right.
But
now there's $25 million of it that goes to securing schools with like metal detectors and stuff like that, panic buttons. But you put $50 million up in grants to just report? That seems
like it would be nice, too, if they had a spokesperson between the ages of 17 and 97. Anywhere in there.
Okay, so Glenn, I want to know why you are so angry with Disney right now.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, first of all, I am a huge Walt Disney fan. I'm a Disney purist. And Disney has done a lot of things in the last 10 years that Walt is like, you could make chair wheels on him. He's spinning so fast in his grave. He is, the last thing he did was Pirates of the Caribbean. It's run for 51 years, okay? Do you know how many women and how many girls we have affected and harmed? And they are still they might be 46 years old, but they are still crying, seeing the rapes of the pirates, seeing where they're selling them for brides. Now,
they're selling...
The women
in the ride
for brides.
Oh, okay.
The real women.
No. The robot. Please don't laugh. I am here to protect you. Okay, you're apparently too damn dumb to protect yourself from these robotic pirates who have been selling the same women over and over every 2.5 minutes for 51 years. Okay, so they're pulling them out. They're pulling them out.
No way.
Yes, they are redoing. Now, the pillaging, fine. Raping, no.
Wow.
This is insane. Now, at the same time, ABC Disney has just purchased American Idol. Okay? Have you read about the kid that got kissed by Katy Perry? And he was he's a good kid, and he didn't want to get kissed by anybody, and he was completely shocked by it. I want you to watch this from American Idol. Watch.
Sometimes there's cute girls, and they're not going anywhere without saying hi.
You get a cute girl to say hi to you, because they got to check out.
Has a racket already.
Wow.
Come on.
Have you kissed a girl and liked it?
No, I've never been in a relationship.
Really?
I can't kiss a girl without being in a relationship.
Come here, Ben.
Come here.
Wait, hold on.
Come here.
Come on.
Come here right now.
You can't.
Come here right now. Come here.
Stop. What, on the cheek?
Mm-hmm. You didn't even make the smush sound.
Right. Okay. Let me start over. Okay.
Oh my God! You did not.
Oh,
it is the fakest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. So here is the people who are taking the robots out of, and we can't have any of that. That's teaching. and they line that up, and then they expect us to be outraged? Oh my gosh. I am unplugging the freezer. Walt does not want to come back and see what they have done to his company.
Stu, United Airlines has been in some hot water lately with the dog death, all the dog deaths.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, we're very worried about this. And it's a strange thing because United Airlines is taking all the blame for it. I can't imagine if I'm on this plane and they tell me to put my dog in the overhead bin that I would ever do it. It sounds completely insane. And the airline
also wouldn't eat a Tide Pod, though. So
that's true.
Dumb it down just a little bit.
The airline actually says that these types of dogs should not be flying at all because of the way their breathing is. But so I mean, I think there's a little responsibility to go around, and it's hard to, as I think a lot of people think, as a dog owner, how could this ever have occurred? But people are, of course, going the other way, too, and blowing it out of proportion. These sorts of things are incredibly rare. In fact, we have a little chart here to show you how rare they are. Now, United Airlines is the worst airline. 2.24 animals out of every 10,000 have an incident. However, if you look at this overall, it's less than 1 out of every 10,000 animals have an incident on a plane.
It's too much. 1 is too much.
Of course it is. Thank you, Joe Biden.
I want.
If it saves one dog,
isn't it worth
doing?
Let me tell you something. I want little oxygen hoses for the little dogs' noses that they can put them in there.
Why don't we just ground all planes? Then they can all die in the ground and we can all be happy with ourselves.
How about a shelter walkout tomorrow?
I like that.
All right. We got to take a break. We'll
walk to a restaurant or something.
Every day we like to try to get to your questions. What do you want to ask the guys? Remember to tweet us using the hashtag #TheBlazeY. So Sumi says this idea is way out there on the gun debate, but if class could be watched on the VCR instead of going to school, how much trouble would it have saved us?
On the what?
On the VCR? What? Welcome to 1979.
Digitally, I guess, from your home.
So it's yeah. So it probably wouldn't have saved anybody anything because no one would know how to use the VCR. I mean, we've talked about this for the federal government too. Why do we have them all meet there in one place where somebody can get them? Why aren't they spread out all over the country? In their home district.
Yeah, you can't. You can't just all stay inside all the time.
Well, right. And what do the parents do? Because they have to go to work, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I can't send my kindergartner to his room to
there's
school all day.
No, the mom stays home.
Right.
Just the robot mom.
So I'm a terrible mom.
Into pirate slavery stays home.
I just still mean that my VCR is still flashing 1983.
Okay, so Doc Thompson Show wants to know what is in your bag, Pat.
What's in my bag?
Yeah, what's in your Doc?
This came up this morning that you got a pretty large satchel that you travel with all the time.
I got a computer in there. I have my iPad in there. I have my phone in there.
Was it like one of those old,
Yeah, no, it's wired.
I was say it's really a big bag.
Some masonry in there, bricks, concrete, a little more.
Good. Still carry around that human head?
Yeah, once in a while. It is shrunken though, so it doesn't take up a lot of space.
And I have to finally get to, so there have been a ton of people who have been asking, is there any dip to go with the broccoli and cauliflower that we have on the table?
This is a Glenn question.
No, there is not, and it's not broccoli. It does look like it, and this, I don't even know what these are supposed to be. But
I think it's toxic, though. So
you have to have something green on your table. It's not right.
All right. Thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you Monday.
No one